Good morning and welcome to Ethnicity, a show that invites all forms of diversity. I'm Brianna Coker.
And I'm Lamorae Chenowith. On today's show, we have Nikki Lipsman, who will share with us her experiences living abroad.
African American Studies major Yvonne Morse, who will talk about the surprising truth behind her family history. And Andrea Walter, a student from the Philippines that created a well-received film.
Stay tuned to Ethnicity. Here with us is Nikki Lipsman. She's a UNLV student who spent a year in Spain learning the values of European culture. Hey, Nikki.
Hi, how are you?
We're so glad to have you.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about the exciting year that you've had.
Oh my goodness, I had the most amazing year in Spain. It was definitely a vacation from here, but I studied and I went to school. I made so many friends and from all over the world. And I live with the best host family, Spanish host family that I could have asked for. They treated me like a daughter.
So what all happened? What was like your day-to-day?
Well, I'd go to school on a weekday, and then I'd go to the beach and hopefully get some homework done. Now, I studied a lot while I was there.
Yeah.
But at night, people would go out. The culture is about like midnight, they'd go out. So we'd go out, and then I met so many Spanish friends that took me to do activities that I probably wouldn't have done here.
What type of activities?
Oh, I went kayaking, I went underwater octopus hunting with an underwater spear gun. I just went horseback riding. I just did so many I got taken on their motos, which is like the motorcycle or mix between a scooter around the city, and went up to the castle.
Shock? I mean, did you anticipate, okay, it's going to be kind of weird, I'm going to have to adjust my way of living, or was it you fit right in?
I felt I fit right in. I was prepared for something a little different, and you know, I wanted to ride on those motos, and I did all the way from the castle to the mall to the beach, everywhere. And I was prepared to meet some really cool people, and I did.
What about the language barriers? Were there any?
Well, my host family and my teachers did not speak any English. So I was totally immersed with Spanish, and I tried to stay away from the American kids that were in the group and just hang out with mostly the Spaniards. And they didn't know as much English, so I was forced to speak Spanish almost all the time.
Did they embrace you?
Yeah, everyone did. Everyone was very welcoming with open arms and understanding of the fact that I don't know the language totally, and I had a little base enough to get along. But with that base and their help, it helped me to be able to speak fluently while I was there.
So was it hard, like juggling the activities and the studying, and were you clubbing?
Yeah, I did it all. I felt I did homework more than most people did.
Oh, yeah?
So I felt like there was a lot of school and studying going on, but I also knew that I was in Spain for the year, and I had a lot of fun with that, and I made sure to get my homework done right after school and then meet everyone at the beach and go out at midnight.
So not only were you in Spain, but you went to many other places. Talk a little bit about those other places.
Oh my goodness, I went to almost 10 countries. The first one I went to was Oktoberfest happened right when I got there. So I booked a flight last minute, and I met some friends at Oktoberfest, and that was probably the most fun that I had. It was just, I don't know, 3-4 day weekend at the fest, and then after that I made it to Amsterdam, and then I made it to London. I had my mom meet me in Paris, and my aunt, and I went to Wales, went to Ireland, and that I met some people that were nice enough to take me out on their private horseback riding through the countryside, and I met some really cool people that showed me around. I made it to Portugal and Greece. Greece was spring break, and that was a good time.
What kind of food do they have in Spain? I mean, they have all different types of stuff, or?
Yeah, their biggest thing is the pig, but yeah, I was lucky enough with my host family that they cooked me every amazing meal. It was hot and ready and very tasty, and I got the full experience of how they actually eat, whereas some people that lived in apartments went and bought food that you could buy in America with just Spanish names on them, and they didn't get the full experience, I feel.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, so you talked about the dinners a lot. You said the dinners were a lot of fun, and the siblings would come to the house. And tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, their tradition would be the everyday siesta time. So they take like about 3 hours off of work, and it's for family time. So everyone would come home and they would have a big lunch, and with family, the whole family would come over, and then after you'd have a little nap, which is the siesta, and then you'd go back to work. But during those times, I got a lot of time to speak Spanish with the whole family. The people I lived with were grandparents, and they were about 55, I want to say, and so they had 2 kids that each were married, and one of them had a daughter that was 5 years old. So I got to interact with everyone from a 5-year-old little girl to grandparents that I lived with for the year.
Now, we have a picture of you by a waterfall. Can you talk a little bit about that, what it was?
Yeah, one of the activities I did on our own, it wasn't part of a group, was waterfall rappelling, and that was awesome. It was a river that you're fully dressed in waterfall gear, like leather outfit, I guess, with shoes, and you'd walk through this river, and you'd come upon jumps where, you know, it's short enough to jump and there's no rocks. There was like 25 jumps. And then there's places where it's too, you know, high up. Or there'd be rocks, and so we had to rappel. So we'd get hooked up with our belts and we'd rappel all the way down.
Nice.
And one by one, we went with a big group. I did not want that day to end.
Huh.
So well, briefly, I mean, how do you think the experience changed you, if you could
I feel that I'm a lot more cultured. I met people from all over the world that I know that I could go and visit and stay with, and I have friends that come and stay here. I just had a European come for a month, and he used my place as a base and traveled out to the Grand Canyon from here. And I have a friend here that just came in today. I met so many people that I keep in touch with, and when I left Spain, I downloaded Skype on Rosa and Pedro, my husband's parents' computer. So I still get to speak with them on the video. And that's good to keep my Spanish going. And it also helped me in the sense that my Spanish family taught me how to knit. They taught me how to cook. I went to a Spanish cooking class, dance class. My eyes are a lot more open to what else is out there.
And you also tutored and stuff. Alicia Green, she's also a student here at UNLV, and you guys were roommates together?
Yeah, those are 2 separate things. I tutored a family that there was 2 kids, and I would go over to their apartment, and that was like a side job, the only way to make a little bit of money. But I tutored them English, and then at the end of the school year, I moved in with Alicia into her apartment so that new kids could move into the host family.
Okay.
And we had dinner parties every night. We met people. We had people come from France. Tuesday was French night. Every night was a different theme. We had sushi parties, and we had competitions that everyone makes their best plate, best presentation, and best tasting. And we'd have competitions.
Like a lot of fun.
Now, I know that, you know, we don't have that much time, but we want to know about the guys. Just cute guys.
Okay.
Some Spanish guys. We have a picture of you.
Yes, we do. Oh, they're cute too.
Very cute. I can imagine.
There are some really good Spanish guys. They're really, really nice, and one thing I found different from here was they are very adventurous. They take you out. They're active. They're not to say they don't go to the club and drink, because they do, but they do more than that. And during the day, they made an awesome effort to, even though it was their real life and they had work and stuff, it was my vacation, and even though I was after school. So when I would go to the beach after school, they would pack a lunch and they'd take us on a picnic.
So everybody was just very welcoming to you.
Yeah.
And that's really cool. Well, we want to thank you for